Hello DragonCrafters, this is Warcrow from Dragon Productions and welcome to Gaming Insider. We'll be looking at the Metal Gear Solid series and more specifically the secret organization, the Patriots. After the First World War, a secret pact was conducted between the highest holders of power in the United States, the Soviet Union, and China. The group named the Philosophers and their goal was to create a world-lasting peace through their influence around the world. However, with the death of the last founding members in the 1930s, things started to change. In the following years, the Philosophers sought to gather more power by triggering various wars across the globe in order to control the world itself. They also created various schools and institutes, including a joint facility between the three superpowers, where they would gather children from a very young age to train them as spies. During World War II, the Philosophers pulled all their resources together, gathering a truly large fortune that at the time was estimated to be $100 billion, dubbed as the Philosopher's Legacy. This money was used to develop new forms of warfare that would dominate the world for years to come, including nuclear weapons and projects such as a Cobra unit, basically a group of super soldiers. However, among those times, tension started to rise between the different branches of the Philosophers, and each group would try to undermine the other so they would remain obsolete and gather even more resources. After the war and during the Operation Snake Eater in Metal Gear Solid 3, we came to learn that the Philosopher's legacy was stolen by Boris Volgin, and in turn his son, Yevgeny Borisovich Volgin, killed him and claimed the legacy for himself. Volgin used this money to create the first nuclear-armed tank, the basis for the technology that would later be known as Metal Gear. This prototype was named Shagohod, Russian for Walker. Naked Snake, an undercover Special Forces agent, was sent to stop Volgin and destroy Shagohod, as well as kill the boss, who had deflected the Soviet Union under Volgin. Snake succeeded in his mission, but without his knowledge, the true part of his mission was to recover the Philosopher's legacy. Only a part of it was given to the American Philosophers. The commanding officer of the Snake Eater operation, Zero, recruited Naked Snake, who was given the title of Big Boss after the events of the mission, Ocelot, a tripulator who was working with the Philosophers, Paramedic, the medical advisor for Big Boss in his mission, Shigin, a weapons expert that assisted Snake during Snake Eater, and Eva, a former Chinese philosopher spy, to form a secret organization known as Cypher, or the Lalelulelo, and bring the end of the Philosophers. Cypher used part of the Philosopher's legacy to begin their operation, and their initial reason for creating such a group was to create a world of peace and unity, similar to the original Philosopher group. However, tension rose between Big Boss and Zero as their opinions differed on what the group should operate on. Zero, afraid of that Big Boss would leave the organization, carried out a secret project called Les Enfants Terribles, a project that would take the Big Boss DNA and use it to create clones of him. Paramedic was in charge of this operation. Eva served as the surrogate mother and gave birth to two sons, later resulting in a third. However, after Big Boss discovered this project, he left the Cypher in disgust. Eva followed him, but Ocelot remained behind in order to spy on the organization for Eva. Zero, in fear of retaliation from Big Boss, went into hiding and was issuing orders from behind the scenes. He was responsible for many incidents around the world and was also back in various projects similar to the Les Enfants Terribles project. However, Zero's actions caused Skullface, the leader of Cypher's elite force, XOF, to track him down in order to gain control over Cypher itself and inject him with a parasite which, over time, would kill Zero. Due to his declining health, Zero sought to create a way that would allow his will to be followed for years to come, so with the help of Sigint and with the Philosopher's legacy, he created computer artificial intelligence, 5 of them to be exact. The idea was to create a unified world with the expense of having no true free will as a result. This AI system will filter all information and would only give the ideals, concepts, and information Zero wanted to the public. Later on, this artificial intelligence was called the Patriots. Everything would be presented so that the wider public would have the illusion of free will, a concept that was similar to Patriotism, hence the name. Over time, the name was also passed to be the name of the organization as well. As time passed, the Patriots gained more control over the American government, using their resources to orchestrate genetic engineering tests using the Big Boss's DNA. Paramedic was the overseer of such operations. One of those projects was the creation of Grey Fox. Using Big Boss's most valuable lieutenant after his body was blown apart by a landmine and was recovered by the Patriots, Paramedic used Fox as a guinea pig for his genetic experiments. By using cybernetic technology, Paramedic created a powered exoskeleton and imbued Fox's body with it. She continued using Fox for her experiments, eventually to use her data to create the Genome Soldiers, highly trained mercenaries that were in use with the DNA of Big Boss himself, but only giving the dominant soldier gene so that it would have them under control, while the superior fighting genes of Big Boss would serve them to make them more deadly in combat. The Patriots, besides genetic experiments, were behind various other warfare projects, most notably the Metal Gear project. Using Sagahod as the base, Metal Gears would be large bipedal tanks with nuclear capabilities. Zero created the Patriot AI system in order to carry out his will, skeptical of his subordinates to do that. However, the eye itself would be controlled by humans. Over time, since Zero was further decaying due to the parasite to his body, his will changed because different people issue the commands. Due to the system's synthetic nature, the AI underwent changes itself and developed will of its own, inducing the battlefield revolution, thus creating the war economy as a way to better accomplish their goal. That goal was to create a new world without ideology, principles, ideals, or loyalty. What started as hope for a unified world and lasting peace between the nations has become a cold and cruel artificial intelligence program that exists to control every emotions, every thought, every piece of information the world's allowed to have. The vision of the boss, and later passed on Big Boss, has become so twisted that it can hardly be traced back to them. Even the ideals of Cypher's founding members changed so dramatically that in comparison to the Patriots, even that future would be immensely better. Total control. That is who the Patriots are. And this brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. In truth, the Patriot story could be placed in several videos. This is just a summary of how it came to be. I tried to make it so that it didn't spoil too much of the story in the games, but revealed enough things to answer the questions of who the Patriots are. The next video of Gaming Insider will also be within the Metal Gear franchise, as we will explain what the Lesser Found Terrible project is in as much detail as possible. If you have any recommendations or requests for such videos, post so in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it and subscribe to the channel for more content. Have a good one.